So the Evergreen track list, like all of my track lists, is ordered very specifically to take people on a journey should they happen to listen top to bottom. It really is supposed to take you somewhere. So what I tried to do was I built in this section in the middle that starts with Unfolding, which is track 6, where it's sort of it's like the hinge or the binding of the book, you know. The whole point of it was to sort of go from almost like a thesis, as like a statement of what the album is, which is Evergreen and Deliverer, kind of paint that picture and sort of descend into the madness of the chaos that I found myself in several years ago, existentially, spiritually, emotionally, and then kind of emerge into the more simplistic and hopeful messages at the end of the record, which are everything from When I See You, which is about like seeing God and having your heart unbroken, to Emmanuel's Land, which is a hymn that I grew up singing and my grandmothers both loved, and sort of messages that are hopeful that I might not have been able to sing about a few years ago, but because I sort of was able to paint the picture of the descent and then the ascent, I guess it felt less trite and less cliche to be hopeful. So that's kind of why I ordered the tracks the way they are. I always really slave over the track list. I know most people don't listen to albums front to back or whatever, but it's still important to me to do that. Teresa, which is track 7, I wrote 9 years ago, and it's the only old song on the album of mine. And I didn't decide to include it till like a week before I started tracking. So that one was a very late addition, and it just fell into place as I seriously worked on the track list for like 7 months before I had even recorded the songs. And I would sit there on like a plane or wherever and just like order and reorder them. And I was like, I'm just like missing something and I don't know what it is. And as I finally landed on the order, I saw like the gap. And I thought, oh my gosh, this song that I've like always loved, that never had a home, just fits like perfectly into this little hole. And so that one, I'm glad I thought of it, but if I hadn't, it wouldn't be there. It almost wasn't on there. Drawn to You, the last track I wrote with Matt Maher at a point. We wrote the chorus together, and I added the verses later. The chorus just kind of appeared out of nowhere, and I really needed it that day, because a lot of what I've been going through the last few years is not just about religion and spirituality. Like, that crisis existed and it has been tough, but I've also been going through mental health problems, getting diagnosed with OCD, going to a trauma therapist to deal with some really tragic events in my past. So all of that swirling together kind of created the maelstrom of, of pain and of work that then gave birth to what Evergreen is. And so Drawn to You was like at a point when I really truly could not tell you if I believed anything. And I mean anything. I mean, does God exist? Does anything in the universe mean anything? I actually went to that place in my mind for a while because I think I had to, because all of my ideas were just so terrible, that the more I pulled at the strings, it just unraveled the entire tapestry of what I had woven together. So the more that I did that, I was like, is there going to be anything under here? I might tear all this down and just find that, like, no, I don't believe anything means anything. I'm a nihilist. I was like, that could be where I find myself. But what I did find after all of that deconstructing and burning down, and I was like, I could go that way, but I don't want to. It seems just terrible, I'm really drawn to who you say you are and who other people say you are. So I guess I'll just walk in that direction. And so that was really the bottom for me. At the bottom of it all, I thought, after all of this, after everything I've had, after everything I lost, I can't say much, but this one thing I know is true. I am still drawn to you and to who you say you are. And so that's where that song came from. And I felt like it was the right ending because it is truly the biggest piece of hope I've had over the last few years.